So I was on Reddit and I found an interesting post that I wanted to talk about in this video. This post has like 500 upvotes, and considering r/Onision is kind of a small subreddit, so I think that's quite a bit. So this is what the post is about. Does anyone else here watch Onision's downfall because they were abused at one point and it's satisfying to see someone get what they deserve? Schadenfreude and the justice boner that follows are satisfying. So many victims out there never get the help they need for sexual, emotional, and physical abuse they suffered. For once, the abuser and manipulator is caught and the whole world knows what he did. I myself suffered for years in an abusive household. My mom is still in that house, being abused and manipulated to the point where she herself has become abusive. So this whole story hits home for me, and I'm hoping that Onion Boy keeps making videos and further incriminating himself until the day they haul him off to prison, because now people will learn what gaslighting and manipulation looks like. And it has like 70 comments. Yes, I see a lot of myself in Shallow. When I was in high school, I dated another girl who was in her 20s and very sexually and psychologically abusive. Her abusive behavior caused me to have constant panic attacks and once a stress-induced seizure similar to what Shiloh had experienced. Eventually, I had a full-fledged mental breakdown and she discarded me like trash. I thought I was in love, so I took the abuse. And now, at 21, I still feel the psychological wounds being with her caused me. I hope these girls get justice for what was done to them. These things stay with you and they cause you so much pain. Your story reminds me so much of my own. I was abused emotionally and sexually by an ex-girlfriend of mine and have seizures to this day from that experience. Like Shallow, I didn't stay because I thought I was in love. I stayed because she turned everyone against me and made me feel like I had no one. I want people like her to get what they deserve. I can never get justice since she's super rich and can afford the best lawyers, whereas I cannot and I'm not strong enough to tell my story. I have memory gaps from when it got really bad, also like Shallow, so that would make it really difficult too. I do admit I'm kind of living out my fantasy of getting justice through watching this go down. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. You're not alone. I really hope things get better for you. That's part of it, but I've also dealt with so many other kids who have been abused in many ways, so I want justice for all of them. Problem is, I have seen so many get away with it. Mine was never punished, and he's still welcomed at family picnics while I'm not. Oh my god. Family is the worst when it comes to abusers, isn't it? Like somehow, some way they are able to frame a narrative and frame a story to the family so that it makes the victims look like the bad ones. And the family believes it. And the family believes it, even though the story has holes in them, many holes in them. In my experience, I have found that, dealing with abuse and recovering with abuse, especially when it comes to that, family is the worst if the abuser is the part of the family. They believe that narrative, so they can't really help the victim grow, My advice to people who want to recover from the abuse is to surround yourself with people who believe you and believe your story and believe things that you say and you tell them. And please get away from people who are like, who question your, how do I put this? I'm not quite sure. People who are like, was it really that bad? Or who are constantly questioning your story, because that's exactly what your abuser would have you do. Your abuser would also want you to question your story. So please don't surround yourself with people like that. And from my experience, what I've found is that if the abuser is part of the family, um, the family is sort of invested in the abuser and they can't really look past it. Unfortunately, that's the reality, and you kind of have to take some distance from them. That's what I would say. Oh, absolutely. Hey there, abuse victim here as well. My abuser is still skipping around being a dickhead, and I need to experience secondhand justice. Onision reminds me so much of my ex-boyfriend. I suppose that's a big reason for my investment in the whole drama. Same for me, exactly like an ex. I still have occasional nightmares about him, and it's been 20 years. He once told me if I was ever raped while we were dating, he would break up with me because I would enjoy it. Always called me nasty names, cons among others. So emotionally and mentally abusive, just makes me sick. I put up with it. Disgusting little man, just like Onion Boy. I'm so sorry you had to go through this. I hope seeing Greg behind bars gives you a little piece of spirit, even if you'll never get personal justice. It's good to see examples of justice in the world. Makes you feel a little more hopeful about life. I hope you have found much better relationships since then. Oh man, I could go on forever. I could go on absolutely forever. There are so many stories about this. And I think a partial reason why I'm interested in this is because of my own experiences as well. For me, my abuser was my mother. And it's been a while since I last had any contact with her. Um, it's not been that long, but it's been quite a while. And I don't think that I have recovered from it or that I will recover from it in near future. I actually had a conversation with someone. It was my mom's fiance. In my eyes, I sort of see him as another person who got sucked in by this abusive person. And he started asking me about, why don't you talk to your mother? After all, I'm her daughter, right? I'm her child. I am her daughter. I should want to talk to her. I should want to be in contact with her. I should want to be there for her. And I started to kind of talk about the things that have happened, and as I started talking about them, I realized that, holy shit, I have so many memory gaps. I don't remember so many things. I remember certain things in very vivid detail, and then there are others that I don't remember at all. I wasn't able to form a cohesive story, to kind of lay it in a cohesive manner. I wasn't able to do that when he asked me. And during that conversation it just hit me how much this woman has affected my life. He's actually a very empathetic person. I think he realizes that something is wrong here, and I think that he kind of sees it, although I'm not sure to what extent he sees it. But yeah, and following this story is sort of cathartic to see a an abuser getting what he deserves. Like Like the person had said there, it's kind of like getting secondhand justice. It really does feel good to have positive examples like that in the world, of people getting what they deserve. Because so many times, that doesn't happen. And that's an unfortunate reality we live in. Also, it's kind of nice to see someone who is a bit more open about their story. I, for one, can't even fucking form a cohesive narrative. So to see people who are able to do that and who are able to share it with millions of people, you know, I don't know. I think I forgot what I was gonna say. I think that the people who are following this story because of the abuse that they have suffered themselves, I think it's somewhat because of, I don't know what else to call it other than immense empathy. You know, for me, once I started to talk about it here, like I got sucked into it. Like I really got sucked into it. I've always been interested in Onision. I was once a fan, and it was Repsion who helped me get out of that cultish mindset. After that, I was always interested in Onision, but once I really kind of started to talk about it here, I really got sucked into it. I don't know what else to actually say about this. I thought it was kind of interesting, I guess. I'm not quite sure what else to say here. I think I'm gonna just stop recording right now.